Fine. So let us start with the training. Okay, today is the first day. I'll start with a brief introduction of Selenium. Right. And I'll open a notepad. Fine. And I'll tell you how it started, how it's evolving, and what are the advantages of learning this tool first. Because you need to have a certain background. Okay. And what is the objective of this course? Fine. Now the thing is, when I first looked at Selenium, there used to be three components in Selenium. Okay, it was known as Selenium RC way back in 2007. Okay, the second component was IDE and another is GRID. Okay, right. Now the thing is, IDE, let's start with IDE. IDE is a tool which only works on Mozilla browser. Okay, it will not generate any reports and all. It's primarily a record run tool. Okay, you can do record and run on this. Now recording and running is not a very successful thing because these days websites are dynamic. The websites change every day. For example, a website like CNN.com, the complete website changes every day. Okay, right. So you cannot do record and run every time. And moreover, IDE is a tool which only works on Mozilla. Right. And you have to work, you cannot work professionally on IDE. You have to compromise somewhere. Okay. So that is why we came up with tool like RC. Now RC, it could work on multiple browsers. Okay, RC could actually help you write the code in languages like Java, C#, okay, Python or Ruby. So in order to work with RC, you had to learn any one of these languages. There were other languages as well like JavaScript, Perl and all. But RC had lot of drawbacks. Okay, I cannot go into the depth of those drawbacks right now. Okay, but just a simple example. There used to be a server in RC which you had to start up. So at times the server never used to get started up. So every time people used to end up logging off from their machines, logging in again, and it used to create issues. Okay, and there is something known as Selenium GRID. GRID is used to run the test cases parallelly. Okay, you set up a central machine known as hub and connect many other machines to it, and you can execute your test cases parallelly. Right, and save time. So this is how Selenium started with these three components. Okay, now RC had major drawbacks. So what they did in August 2011, okay, they came up with the new version, WebDriver 2. Okay, WebDriver 2 could also work on multiple browsers and Java, C#. You can use any one of the programming languages to work on it. Okay, it could generate very good reports. Okay, you could make automation script work very nicely in WebDriver 2. Right. It was completely different from RC. Okay, RC was completely different. WebDriver was completely different. There was no migration. Okay, there was no migration from RC to WebDriver. Don't think that something is same between them. No, it is not like that. Okay, now what they have done is that in 2016 they came up again somewhere around August 2016 they came up with WebDriver 3. Okay, now there is a migration over here. Okay, few things have changed up. Right, there is not much difference except few things. There is not much difference. If you know Selenium WebDriver 2 or 3, any of them, you can work on it. It's not a big deal. Okay, right. IDE is still there in the market. Okay, and GRID is also there. Only thing is that now GRID is known as GRID 2 or GRID 3 depending on what version of WebDriver you are using. Okay, right. So in this course we will study about what we'll be concentrating on. We'll be concentrating on WebDriver. We'll be concentrating on GRID. IDE we will not do because it's not a very good tool. It's a useless tool, to be very honest. Fine. Okay, if you want to learn IDE, you can learn it from the videos as well. Right. Now this is done. Okay. Now where is Selenium going? Okay. What all is the advantage of learning this tool? Okay. Right. The advantage of learning Selenium is that you can, hold on, you can actually learn other tools easily. For example, if you talk about a tool like Appium, which is for mobile automation, it is built on top of Selenium. It uses the Selenium API, so it becomes really easy. Moreover, if you learn Selenium, you learn Java, you learn programming. Then learning other tools, like if you want to learn SOAP UI or if you want to learn Load Runner. Okay, Load Runner is a load testing tool, right? Or if you want to learn JMeter, then learning all these tools, it really becomes very easy. Okay, it is just about learning one tool and then you can easily learn other tools as well. Fine, if you want to learn QTP as well, which is on VB scripting, you develop a general programming knack, okay, a knowledge which can help you later on as well. So, the first thing is that, how do you start learning Selenium? Okay, for that, if I just go to the official website of Selenium, okay, official website of Selenium is seleniumhq.org. If I go over here, then on this website, the first line says that Selenium automates browsers. It's a automation testing tool which is only applicable to web-based automation. Okay, right. And if you go to the download section over here, okay, you will see a link for Java. The current version is 3.0.1 and you will see a Javadoc link. Okay, this is the documentation of Selenium. Fine. If you click on Java Docs, then you get the documentation of Selenium out here. Okay. And this is completely object oriented in nature. If you don't know Java or if you're not aware of object oriented programming, you can never understand it. So the prime focus of this training is first to make you understand the concepts of object oriented programming and then start working with Selenium. Okay, so to start with Selenium, the first thing is that you have to install JDK. Everyone must have installed Java, but few of you would have installed JDK. So go to Google and search download JDK. Okay, Java Development Kit. Right, so out here, hold on, this is the download JDK option and hold on, yeah. So over here you can go to the first link, Java SC downloads, the first link out here, and you can go to Java platform JDK and click on the download link and install JDK for your particular operating system. Okay, that you have to just accept the terms and conditions and then you can install it. For 32-bit Windows this is the one, and 64-bit Windows this is the one. Now after that you have to install Eclipse. You have to download Eclipse. Obviously everybody must be knowing what Eclipse is that. So what Eclipse is. Now the thing is, Eclipse is the editor of Java language. Okay, many of you must be knowing this, many of you must be working on it, but I'm starting from the basics because there are people who don't know anything right now as far as Java is concerned. They might be knowing some other programming language. Okay, so first thing is that you have to download Eclipse, right, and preferably download Eclipse Luna. It's a stabler version. When you work with TestNG later on, it will not give you any issues, right? You go to the Luna website and hold on. This Eclipse website is inherently very slow. Okay, so you go to the downloads link over here. Okay, and you can download it for your respective operating system. The first link. Okay, you can download it for your respective operating system, whichever you have. Eclipse comes as a bundle. When you download and extract it, you'll find this file folder. Okay, you open this folder and you start eclipse.application file and it will start up. Okay, fine. And here is the screen which you get, okay, when you start up Eclipse. Okay, it is the welcome screen. Over here you can give the workspace path. Workspace means that the place where you will be storing your complete code. Okay, you store the complete code under the workspace. Fine. Okay, so you have this Eclipse workstation. Hold on, let it start. Hold on. It's starting. So meanwhile it starts. Okay, it will take some time. So this will be the welcome screen. You can close the welcome screen. Right. So in Eclipse you have got few components. Hold on. Yeah. So out here in Eclipse you will be, this is Project Explorer. We keep the projects over here. In the central portion we do the coding, and at the bottom we see the reports, or we see the console output of the programs which we make. Fine. So the complete Selenium coding will be done inside Eclipse. Alright. So out here you go to File, New, and go to Other. Right. And you will find the Java option. Under Java you will see the option to create a new Java project. Okay. You can click on Next and name your project. You can name it Day 1. Right. And click on Next, and Day 1 project will be made. Fine. Now out here in Day 1, I'll start off with very simple program. I'll just let me make a simple Java program. Right. Sample or first Java program. Right. Now I'm recording the session. You can also look at the recorded session out here. Okay. So this is the simple Java program. Hold on. Let me just increase my font size. Just a minute. Okay. This is the first Java program. Right. And this is the main function. Main function is the function from which the complete flow starts. Okay, everything starts from the main function. Alright, and what you need to do is that you need to, hold on, you can write something inside it. For example, you can write system.out.println hello Selenium. Right. So once you run this program, you will get the output over here, hello Selenium. You can run it by clicking on this button over here, run first program. Right. Now I am assuming that you know what integer is, like what int is, like int I equals to 100. Basics of programming. Okay, I cannot teach you those things. What string is, right? What if statement is, what a for loop is. I am assuming you know these basic things because I will be teaching you object oriented programming. Okay, I will be teaching you object oriented programming. Fine. Now the next thing is that if we learn Selenium, if we actually learn this object oriented programming and we write WebDriver code and all, what is the objective? What is the objective which we want to achieve? Okay, as I told you earlier as well, the objective is to actually know how to build a framework. You have to learn how you can build a framework. Now, what do you mean by a framework? Okay, what do you mean by a framework? Just a minute. Alright, so what is the objective of this course? What will you achieve? Like how do you build a framework? Okay, that's the main thing, right? And what a framework is. Look, practically in companies, when they tell you that fine, go and automate a project, so they give you a certain set of test cases which you have to automate. So you start building Selenium scripts. Okay, these are your Selenium scripts which you will be building, right? And suppose this is my test case 1. So sorry. Then this is my test case 2, test case 3, test case 4, test case 5, right? So you build your test cases, and then you have a requirement, then you have to run the test cases serially. Okay, or you would have a requirement that you have to optionally run the test cases. You might not want to run TC2 and TC3. So after TC1, you directly want to run TC4 and then TC5. Or you have a requirement that you have to run all the test cases together. You have to run them parallelly. So you have to make your scripts in that way. Apart from that, you have a requirement that you want to read the data from an external file like an Excel file or a text file, or we also use properties file in Java. You want to read the data into these test cases from some external file. Apart from that, you want to generate reports. You want to put the logs in the reports. You want to put the screenshots in the reports. Okay, we'll see all of these things. Look, what do you mean by logs? Logs, they say that what happened at each and every moment when the script was running. Okay, if the script runs for say 10 hours, all the 5 test cases over here, they take 10 hours to run, for example. You need to know what happened at each and every moment. So that is done with the help of, you can say that is done with the help of logs. You know what we do? We generate reports like these. We'll see those in the training. Hold on. Right, we generate for example a report like this. This is just a sample report I'm showing it to you. Right, these are extent reports. Okay, they tell you each and every step with the logs and all what happened, right? And you get a screenshot also embedded inside the reports. For every test case, it will give you individual logs. You can also have you can also have a separate screen where you will have a pie chart diagram, right? In this pie chart diagram, you have a graphical representation of the test cases. So it tells you everything, that what time the test case started, it ended, and what all happened in between, and with the screenshot, which all test cases failed, passed, or skipped. Right. So you need to generate these kind of reports, logs, and all everything. Apart from that, you want your project to integrate with say Jenkins as well for continuous integration. I cannot tell you exactly what Jenkins is right now, but you will come to know Jenkins and Git. So how do you manage all these things? Because if you talk about Selenium, then Selenium is only this much. Selenium code is in this blue box. Selenium will only help you interact with the browser. It will not help you to do the other things like Excel reading and reporting and Jenkins and all everything. So we use a controller in between. This controller is generally JUnit, or people use TestNG. People also use BDD containers like Cucumber is there. Okay, or JBehave is also there. Right, in the videos I've covered all of them. In the class, let's see like we can use TestNG, or we can use TestNG with Cucumber. Whatever you guys will ask me, I'll do that. Okay, right. Now what this centralized controller does is it reads the data from the Excel. It calls the respective test cases. Whichever test case has to be executed serially, parallelly, everything it can do. It will help you generate reports, logs, take screenshots, and also integrate the framework with Jenkins. So this is the overview of framework. This is what we will be doing in this training. This is the objective. Now, there are different types of framework. There are different ways to develop a framework. Okay, we'll see that in the online sessions. I've taken all the ways. Now, to reach this level, the first thing is that you have to learn Selenium WebDriver API. Okay, without learning Selenium WebDriver API, you cannot do anything. Okay, right. Now, coming back to the day one project which I had made, and I had just written a simple program, hello Selenium, right? And I told you, I am assuming you know the basic things. Today is the first class. It must be very easy for many of you. Okay, but as we proceed, we'll look at more things. Fine. So anybody having any questions till now on Selenium, on Java, on the training, anything, you can ask on the WebEx chat, or you can ask me on Skype as well. Anybody with any questions? Yeah. No, I will be teaching you everything. I'll teach you Java parallelly, and I'll teach you the concepts of Selenium parallelly. Okay, it won't be that first I'll cover Java, then I'll cover Selenium. You'll come to know. I'll tell you everything. So, okay, let's see what others say. Okay. Otherwise, in the pre-recorded sessions, we also have that. Okay. Now, if you sorry. Now, if you make another Java file over here, okay, and I'll write it as a second Java program. Fine. And I write inside it hello there. So it will also execute and print hello there. Now in Java, what happens is that if you right click on your day one project, you will see lot of options over here. And we will be using each and every option, the most important being the last one, the properties option. Okay. If you go to this properties option, you will see various things out here. Okay. And you will see one option out called Java build path. Okay, why Selenium benefits against UTP? I'll tell you, Jignesh, just be with me. Okay, right. Now you'll see an option known as Java build path. If you go to the library section, right, there will be 4 sections out here under Java build path. You go to the library section and you will be using this library section a lot. I will tell you in coming time, right. Another thing is resource. Out here you have this path. The path where the current project is lying on the hard drive. If you copy this, you will be able to see the path. It is under the workspace path which I had given earlier. This is the day one project. Fine. And hold on. If I open it, you will see various folders, out of which in Eclipse I can only see the source folder. Okay, in Eclipse you can see the source folder. The remaining folders and files we'll talk about. Right. If you open the bin folder, in bin folder you will have first Java, second Java, class files. These are class files. Class file is like an executable file. It is there in Java. You can deploy this file on any operating system, maybe Unix, Linux, Mac. I made them in Windows, but I can make this file execute in different operating systems. That's why Java is platform independent, and that's why people prefer Selenium with Java, because you just have to make the script in one operating system and you can run in multiple operating systems. Okay, right. Now if you see this GRE system library in the project, if you expand this, it will have lot of jar files. Now what is a jar file? I'm going to talk about that right now. Okay, suppose you are working on a project and you make lot of Java files. All these Java files will be converted to class files, right? And class files are like executable files. They can be deployed and they can be executed. How that is done, I'll talk about that. Just be with me, just understand the concept. Okay, now suppose there is a client over here whom you want to deliver everything. So you cannot just deliver in individual class files. What we do is that we put everything in one box. Okay, this one box is known as jar file. Jar file is like a zip file. It contains many class files. And in Java also, if you look at this GRE system library, which is Java, which is installed on your system, there are many class files. There are many jar files. Each of these jar files, it holds many class files, and these class files can be used to run your programs. Okay, these class files, they contain many inbuilt features which you can use. Right, for example, if I write over here system.out.println new date. Okay, what do you mean by new? What do you mean by date? Okay, just forget about that right now. I have just used one of the features from one of these jar files. Okay, and if I run my program, I am able to print the current date, time zone, everything. So I never had to write a special program for myself to calculate the date. Everything is inbuilt. Similarly in Selenium, everything is inbuilt. Okay, you have to learn the inbuilt classes of Selenium and you need to know how do you use them. If you look at the official documentation of Selenium, which I showed you on the website of Selenium, if you go to Selenium HQ and go to download section, and then you look at this Java doc, the documentation of Selenium, then these are all the classes inside Selenium. There are lots of them. I also don't remember everything. Okay, so you have to make objects, or you have to work with these classes. Right, now as far as Selenium is concerned, you can download the jar files of Selenium. Selenium is not installed. Many times people think that they have to install Selenium. No, you can download the jar files of Selenium from here, and you just need to include those jar files in your Eclipse to make your project Selenium enabled, so that you can use the classes of Selenium, just like I use the class of Java right now. I use the date class. Right, so you can click on this download link. After this, it will download, and you will have, you will have a folder like this, Selenium Java 3.0.1, which is the latest version. Okay, if you look at this website for Selenium, there is a link over here known as changelog. This describes what all has changed in Selenium over a period of time. Right now the current version is 3.0.2. Okay, they have done some bug fixes inside it. Right, look, the last stable build of Selenium was 2.53. This was a very stable version, and people also and companies also use this version right now, because after this version, what happened? They started Selenium 3. They came up with WebDriver 3 in the beta version. It had lot of defects. There were few things which were changed, minor things. For example, the minimum Java version is 8. Okay, support for Edge is there, support for Safari, they introduced some support. Okay, official support for I required version 9 or above, right? But this version is still used by many companies since it's stable. In the course I'll show you problems with Selenium 3 and you will yourself come to know. Okay, right. And now if you hold on, let me go back. If you download this, you will have the version jar files. Okay, you will have this folder after downloading Selenium. That's what I was talking about. Okay, you will have this client jar file. This is the main jar file of Selenium. There is no exe in Selenium. You just get the jars and you just need to include them in Eclipse. And under the library folder, you will have other jar files. These are given by people who made Selenium, right? And what you need to do is that you need to include them in your project. You need to right click in the project, go to the properties, fine. You will see Java build path option, third from the top. Okay, there will be 4 tabs. Go to the libraries tab, alright, and click on add external jars. Go and add the main jar file of Selenium. You'll have to navigate to that path and also add all the jars under the library folder. Okay, right, and you will have this reference library section generated under which you will have the jar files of Selenium with which you can work. For example, there is a class or hold on just a minute. For example, yeah, one more thing. If you don't see this reference library section, many times people don't see it. Make sure in Eclipse you are in the Java perspective. You click on this small icon over here. Okay, you will get a window like this. On this window you can switch to Java perspective. Alright, fine. So this is what a reference libraries section it does. Right. Now it's got your project is Selenium enabled, everything is done. But to work with Selenium, you have to understand object oriented programming. And that's what I'll be starting off next. Okay, now before that, anybody having any questions? Jignesh was asking a question that why Selenium benefits over QTP. Look, if you talk to me in terms of costing, then obviously QTP is a paid tool, it costs a lot, and Selenium is a free tool. Okay, but Selenium is way more complex than QTP, to be very honest. QTP is a very simple tool, it's very easy to learn, it's just a scripting language, it's very tester friendly. Okay, it's got a user interface, everything is there, all the things are inbuilt. Okay, in Selenium you have to do everything yourself. Okay, so that is why you have to use Selenium. Fine. So in the beginning, okay, there's another question being asked, should we be using Selenium 3 or 2.53? In the beginning we will work with Selenium 3. I'll tell you the disadvantages of 3 you will come to know, and 2.53 will later on switch over to that because still Selenium 3 is unstable. Firefox version for, okay, if you are using 3.x then make sure you are using the latest Firefox. Okay, if you are using the version 2.53 then you have to use Firefox 40. It's stable with Firefox 40. Alright, fine. Selenium 3 does not support Firefox 40 and 2.53 does not support the latest version. Okay, the crossing is not there. Right. So anyone with any other question? Anyone? Right. Okay, so what I'll do is that I will send you the recording of this class. I'll stop here. Okay, we'll continue.